In 1999, a 7th grader tries to track down all of the songs off of an old, broken mixtape to try to learn more about her parents who died when she was a baby. I grew up in the mixtape era. I made mixtapes for people, and I still have the mixtapes that people made for me. There was an art to it. Today, you can create a playlist with no time restriction in just a few clicks and instantly share it with all of your friends. Back in the 90s, you had to be very selective in the songs that were going to make the cut, as only about an hour's worth of music would fit onto a tape. And once you've done the job of picking out the songs, you then had to physically record them in real time onto the tape. It was time consuming, so it was always a big deal to give or receive a mixtape. This movie is aimed specifically at my generation, and it kind of succeeds. Now, Mixtape is not a great movie, but it is a really good movie. Nothing about it really screams late 90s to me, other than some of the clothes the middle school kids are wearing, and the fact that no one mentions cell phones. Oh, and Y2K prep plays loosely into the plot, and they do mention Napster at one time. This is a straight-to-Netflix family film, and there really are no stakes involved. All of the characters are likable, especially our lead Beverly, played by Gemma Brooke Allen. She does a perfect job of playing the bright-eyed young girl who is just amazed by all the small things that the older people take for granted. And it is a joy to watch her and her ragtag group of outcast friends find themselves through the music of the prior generation. If their contagious positive outlook and innocent rebellious behavior can win over the jaded hipster record store employee, it is sure to win over the audience as well. And my favorite movie with kids finding themselves through music is Sing Street. This movie has a similar vibe, but it isn't pulled off nearly as well. Now, I consider myself someone who has a better than average knowledge of music, mainly because I like all genres of music. I met my wife because of the band Hanson, you know, the bop guys, and I have attended my fair share of Cannibal Corpse concerts. I think it's safe to say that most music falls somewhere between Hanson and Cannibal Corpse. So I was surprised that I wasn't that familiar with a lot of the songs in Mixtape, even though I was familiar with most of the bands. My guess is that licensing bigger hits would have killed the film's budget. Now, I know music is subjective, but I do think I would have liked this movie a little bit more had it had a different soundtrack. Now, I've read a lot of people complaining that in this movie, Julie Bowen is playing a grandmother and she's just too young to be a grandmother. But you know what? She was also a grandmother in Modern Family, and no one complained about that. And based on the movie's timeline, I actually think that Julie Bowen is older in real life than her character would have been in the movie. Now, Mixtape's not an all-time classic. It's not going to clean up during award season, but it is a saccharine sweet coming-of-age story told through the eyes of a great cast of kid actors. It's family-friendly, and it's really cute. I could see a lot of people who were teens in the 90s enjoying watching this one with their kids. Bonding with your granddaughter, having a laugh with your friends, homages to the 1980s movie Say Anything, matching green and yellow sweaters, that Tommy Hilfiger sweatshirt that everyone owned in the late 1990s, unwound cassette tapes,